Et c'est parti pour notre hors-série, un de plus Ben, un
Tout à
hors-série qu'on attendait déjà depuis un petit moment pour le nouvel album de Saint Agnes, des amis je peux le dire, puisqu'on les a déjà reçus au Hellfest. Et puis
on les soutient depuis le début.
C'est tout à fait vrai et on adore ce qu'ils font. Et ce nouvel album, il est différent. Il amène pas mal de belles choses et on a justement la chance de les avoir en interview. Hello, how are you?
Hello, good.
Really good. Little hungover, maybe.
Hungover touch.
Yeah. We got into Paris yesterday, and it was our first day off as a band together in a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so we enjoyed ourselves.
So we eat, drink.
Yeah, it's good.
Nice things.
Yeah.
So first of all, congratulations for the new album. It's amazing. Every time we can hear it, we just listen to it. We understand more things. We feel more things. There's always something you can learn and you can hear.
Discover.
Discover.
Oh,
so
cool.
Congratulations for this because
Thank you.
It's an amazing thing, when you hear something and you can find more things. Anytime you say, I want to hear it again and again.
Yeah.
There's a lot of detail on the record, a lot of detail. It's all very intentional. We really challenged ourselves to make sure that every element we thought about everything and we would question, there's still room for spontaneity, but then we would reflect on it and go, is this the best thing for this moment? And maybe we have 5 layers of music happening. Do we need them all? If so, why? And really challenging ourselves. And I'm so glad that as a listener, it means that you're able to revisit the songs more times and hear more. And I think this is Kitty's most poetic record lyrically. So there's a lot going on there.
It's the same for us as well, because obviously it's self-produced really. So we've listened to it thousands of times, but we still enjoy the record, and I think that's such a good sign, because often you're like, I never want to hear that again, I don't I've had enough of that. But with this record I just we're still still interested.
So, and there's parts of it that now we're trying to play it live, which has been a real challenge because we had no rules about the recording or writing. It's there's this crappy little synth plugged into a guitar amp, do this with it, reverse it, and if we like it, that's the sound. How are we going to do that live, And some of it we listen back, it's like, how the fuck did we make that sound? I don't remember, maybe should have made some notes. And is that a guitar? Is it something so we've had to reinvent already kind of how we've done it. So playing it live, there's certain things where it's very obvious, a piano, okay, guitar, okay. Other sounds, it's like, how are we going to do it? But we've torn it apart and gone through and rediscovered the detail for ourselves, because we finished the record maybe a year ago.
Yeah.
And so we've had enough time to kind of forget how some of it was made.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But it's also because it's really rich. I feel like there's a lot of different influences. And it's not like it's like what you were doing before, but further with more little details, more electronic sounds. More. So it's really rich. So I guess it doesn't help in finding how you did this, because and to redo it live.
Yeah.
But in a way, I think it's. I love when bands are kind of reinventing the song live. So you have a different experience, different energy, and sometimes it's better than having just tracks, so it sounds exactly the same.
I think it's really important, actually. I don't like when I go and see a band and it sounds exactly like the record, because I want an experience in that moment. I want to be like, right, what do those people sound like today, tonight, here, in this place, in this moment? That's what interests me. So
it's important to leave room in the arrangement to do that. Obviously, when you're having to use technology, there's certain thought that has to go into things. You give yourself a framework, but we always make sure that Kitty has room to dictate how things are going to go, that we're following her energy of the night, that as a band, we're watching her. Okay, now we begin this part, now we change this part. And so there's still as much humanity in everything we're doing as possible.
Like that, there's a lot more emotions. People can feel it and feel you, and you can feel the people like this. It's better.
Yeah.
Also, seeing you live, you got really a punk energy live.
Yeah.
So I think it's better to have room for
chaos.
this.
Yeah. But that was one of the questions we had to ask ourselves with the record was, say there's a song on the record called The Beast, which is a center point of the record. It's really emotional, musically very complex, sonically very ambitious. But we are used to being on tour and being a punk band, playing bloodsuckers and screaming. And it's like, how do we keep that punk energy but perform this beautiful layered textured thing? And it took a lot of thought, but I'm really happy with how we do it. And I still feel like I'm in the same band still. It doesn't feel like a total change. There's a direct thing. And we perform those songs with this like quite aggressive edge.
Yeah, the emotional intensity is the most important thing, and I think across each of our records that's the thing that links them, because the genre is quite different. We hop genres, we take influence from lots of different places, but that emotional intensity and honesty is through all of it, I think. So it's really important for us.
So, well, the title of the album is Your God-Fearing Days Are About to Begin.
Yeah.
Quite optimistic.
Yeah.
I think because when we made our last record, Bloodsuckers, it was my mother had just passed away and it was a very difficult time for me. So when we made this record, I'd kind of fallen out of love with the process of making music because it was so painful, because I had to it was like having a wound that you have to keep opening, and it was so difficult that I was even to the point of do I want to do this anymore, because this is not fun, this is hard work. It's exhausting, and can I do it? So when we were right, we're going to make a new album, I had to fall in love with the process again. The experience needed to be positive and better, and I think that's why on this record there's so much more beauty and light in the music. It's much more melodic, much more singing, not just shouting. But at the same time, while we were in our own little world making this record, there's chaos in the wider world, the rise of the far right all across the world, all the terrible things that are happening, and that was like a shadow overhanging the whole process. So, and that's kind of where the name comes from. It's your God-fearing days are about to begin, this rise of far right Christianity and things like that. So it was kind of, it overshadowed this little world we'd created together, the three of us.
Yeah.
It couldn't be divorced from the wider world. It bled into the record, this feeling of unease and what's going to happen. It's frightening.
Because when you're naming a record, you're trying to look for a name that represents the whole thing, and it's not, each song has a different personality and each song has a different lyrical theme. So we were looking for what actually ties all these songs together, and we realized it was the time and the moment that it was recorded in, and the feeling that we had of hope but with a black cloud always over us. And we're people that are naturally kind of tend to have a bit of a black cloud in our minds anyway. We can be quite pessimistic about stuff, but seeing it externally, and I really feel that obviously as a band with a female vocalist, you're really aware that one of the first things that starts to get reduced in society is women's rights. It's one of the first things to go, and religion becoming more authoritarian, they tend to be quite against women's rights. So really being associated with kind of powerful female voice, seeing this erosion potentially on the horizon, it felt like the beginning of The Handmaid's Tale or something. We felt like we were on that cusp, and that's why the title is as it is.
So I feel something to this album is that, today's people are just feel alone because of the internet, because of the emotion. They can't express really themselves. They can say whatever they want, but they're lost a little bit. And you talk about all these dark things with the light, you said.
Yeah.
And maybe music, that's the role of the music, to say you're not alone.
Yeah.
We're not alone.
Beautiful.
And you can just have your hand like this to help people and say, come to the gigs. You will be together and it's going to be better for you, and you will be alive again.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, absolutely. I'd say before, when I was younger, it was more egocentric. So it was about me wanting to like say what I want to say and blah, blah, blah. But like after the stuff happened with my mum and like going through all of that and going through like lockdown and COVID and all those things, the reason I do this has just changed completely. And it's so much more outward now rather than inward. And that connection with the audience is what drives me so much. And I think shows now like are so important. I can feel the energy and the emotion from the audience. I think if you allow yourself to be vulnerable on stage in front of those people, they give it back to you. It gives them a channel, like it gives them permission, and I can feel it. So like I'll be crying on stage. The audience are everybody's crying, but it feels amazing. It feels real, and it's so important because, as you say, like social media, the internet, we are so disconnected from each other. And actually, I think that's why there are so many problems, more and more problems in the world. People fighting because we're so disconnected. That place of performance, it is the place that's left where you can just like connect with other human beings.
But I think, to carry on from what you're saying, I think there's an illusion that we have now of connectivity.
Yeah.
Because of the internet and social media, we believe we're really connected with people. It looks like we're connected with people, which means that the disconnection that you feels even weirder because you're like, well, there's thousands of people that I can connect with, lots of people that I can see like the same things as me, but I still feel even more alone. I think that if you have things more in the real world with smaller groups of people, it feels more real and more connected than the kind of online ideal of having thousands of followers and people, wanting to have this. And we, as a group of people, we're relatively shy about our connections, and we like to make friends with people in a way that to us feels very real and deep. And when we're touring as a group and we have our merch people or photographer with us and everything, we like it to become like a family. And for us, that's really important. And I always find it strange when we meet people in the music industry who are maybe more like online people, that they will have this false friendliness where they act like you're their best friend, and you think I met you once for 30 seconds, but you're hugging me like a long lost brother, and that makes me feel more alone than I like to treat the relationship like it is. It's like, I don't really know you yet, but maybe we're going to become friends and have this more real thing. And I think the internet breeds this false closeness that doesn't exist, which people see everyone else around them appearing to have best friends everywhere, and it's like, why haven't I got them? Why do I still feel alone? And that contrast is so powerful and sad. And music is such a place that at an actual show, like when you're actually there's people stood next to you who also know the words, who are also feeling the things you're feeling. When we went to see 9 Inch Nails and he played Hurt, and it was not that long after Kitty's mum had passed away, like that. The room was electric.
It was just incredible, and it was healing. I know that's like a very overused word, but when I went into that gig in a certain way, I came out and I felt a tiny bit better about the death of my mum, and that's like so powerful. Just one song, I suddenly felt a little bit better. So it's powerful.
Beautiful. Yeah.
I think the thing is with internet, we feel like you can say things you want to say to a lot of people. People can read it, but there's no instant feedback as in the real life. And I think this leads to lack of empathy or fake empathy. People who want to overreact to everything, as you say, like hugging, like man, we don't know each other that well. And I think people are getting used to fake it, and I feel that's what is actually really great, even for us doing interview and meeting artists. It's just you can have a connection that we won't have online. We won't have, and you can feel what people want to say. And I think shows for this are the best thing. And seeing you live, it's like you're not lying on stage. No. You're like pouring
like
everything.
Like bleeding.
We treat every gig like it's the last gig we'll ever do.
It's exhausting.
We don't worry. We never think about our physical health or our equipment to last to tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like that's tomorrow's problem. Today, whatever happens,
It's
happens.
because it's our favourite thing, and we get to, we're getting to do our favourite thing. So we're like, we give it everything.
Whatever the audience thing. And luckily, like these recent shows we did with Last Train, like the audience were overwhelming. Like
amazing.
The response we got, everything that we poured out was returned
back.
and it was just beautiful.
Yeah, the roar from the audience was just amazing.
Yeah, incredible.
I think because Last Train, similar, like very emotional, honest, authentic performers, and that's what the audience like. So it resonated with us, didn't it?
Yeah.
They got what we were trying to do, and it was brilliant.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And the audience know that there are good people and you are good people, so we can feel that too,
Okay.
Yeah.
Because some artists are not good people.
Yeah.
We won't talk about Jared now.
Uh-oh.
Did I say out loud?
No comment.
Cut.
Oopsie. So you bring back people to reality. That's for me the truth. So you bring back people to the reality of political things too. You talk about politics.
Yeah.
So you say, okay, it's a really rude moment, so please open your eyes, just see the true things.
Yeah.
In some songs you talk about this.
Yeah. The whole record really is like my viewpoint, my stories, my thoughts about things. It's very personal, but of course I exist in the world, so politics and things that are happening in the world are going to influence the songwriting. A song like Good Boy that opens the record is about kind of this the kind of obedient, subservient, the way we like serve the capitalist death machine, men in suits, which is like a sign of respectability, but destroying the planet, doing terrible things. And then there's a song, Gods of War, which is similar, which is about these people in positions of power who see themselves as like, a god of war. And actually it's like, we don't need that for our politicians. We don't want a god of war. We want a real human being who cares about people.
Yeah.
So
a level-headed peacemonger.
Yeah.
Is what we need.
Exactly. And it was just like, with this record, it was how could it not be political, really, with the way the world is? Like, it just bled into everything, as I said.
Yeah. And it's interesting, Gods of War, like, is very much like we were seeing, you see online, the kind of alpha male, we call it, I don't know if it's in French, the manosphere, like real men being real men, and they just eat meat, and like, you have to learn how to like sit correctly to display dominance. It's fragile children in men's bodies.
Yeah.
And the politicians who embody that are the ones who are most likely to cause problems for the world. And that song is about a scared little boy who's playing with incredibly dangerous toys. Whereas Good Boy is more about the individual, like someone who maybe is a good person who has believed that what they're doing is right. You go to school and you behave yourself, and then you get a job like you're expected to do, and you pay your taxes and you're diligent, and then you suddenly realize that, well, everyone else who's doing everything not by the rules is screwing me over, but I'm the one whose life is passing by. And that waking in the middle of the night and being like, fuck,
this is not right.
Time has passed. And Kitty wrote that song about, the middle of that song has this rant of like, your brain racing at 3 a.m. going, life's going, like I need to get out the office and live. And that song was kind of all about that.
I would like to say for the people who didn't hear the record yet, that this is dark things, but what's great in the album is like, at the end the lights shine through it and brings a little hope and way of seeing things to feel a bit better. It's not a totally dark and depressive record, because it's even quite dancey sometimes. It's this kind of a little bit disco beat.
Dance club, like kind of like a kind of Matrix kind of sci-fi club.
I describe it as like the blood rave in Blade.
Oh,
that's what I was picturing. But I think it's so important that we do have hope and joy. Like, there's nothing more important at the moment, actually. It's quite radical to feel hope right now. And it's so important to me. And I think because Bloodsuckers was such a terrible time, we always describe it like that. Making that record was like feverish. If you're ill in the middle of the night. It's dark, feverish. That was nightmares. Yeah. And then this record is like where the sun starts to break and starts shining in through the window, and you have a cold glass of water and you start to feel a bit better. That's kind of what this record was.
Yeah.
And it had to be for me because I was in such a dark place. I had to let light in because you can't exist. I was, like when you're in the beginning of grief, it feels like you're never going to have light again, but you have to find a way to let it in. And you have to grow outwards, not inwards. So this record was my trying to reach out rather than become hard and angrier.
We tried to challenge ourselves with the songwriting. I started to realize like that everything that I was playing on guitar, like I've heard other musicians say that you end up in these same kind of boxes and patterns, and I was like, it's just this minor scale in different orders again, and it's almost like having just the same Lego set that you're rearranging. And I was like, how do we bring something new into it? And I was like, well, what about major chords? Like, which I don't know anyone. Yeah.
Whoa.
But like playing.
Calm down.
Yeah. I was like, but it felt like it. I felt like it opened this enormous door. Like suddenly, I was like, there's immediate light in there. Which then, if the lyric is dark and the sound is maybe a violent sound, but underneath there's this major chord that I may be taking the major element and just bending it towards minor, but not quite. It creates this dissonance and almost hope. I love that. And it was really exciting. And like that totally transformed it. And everything that we're writing now since the album, we've just allowed like the boxes that we used to be in have disappeared. And we have like a new Lego set with everything, all the cool pieces to play around with.
I think as well, when you go through like trauma and you go through something difficult, you grow a lot as a person. It's the only way to grow actually is through difficulty. You don't grow when you're happy, you grow when you're sad. And like for me, because I'm a very shy person, I'd always really struggled to sing in front of other people or show my ideas or try new things. Always found it very tight person. But having gone through all of that, the idea of being self-conscious just seemed quite childish, and I was like, fuck's sake, I can't be bothered to be self-conscious anymore. So when we started doing this record, I was so different, wasn't I? Like we worked with a producer and he would say, try this, try that, and I'd be like, cool, just going for it and not being frightened of making a mistake, not being frightened of sounding silly. And it just, it
gave you loads of freedom.
It gave me so much freedom, and it felt childish to be self-conscious. It was like, fuck's sake, I'm so bored of like worrying about this, worrying about that. And
bored of worry, basically. It was like, and we, as Kate said, we started with this producer because we really wanted to be, I didn't want to be at the computer anymore. I didn't want to, we wanted to fall in love with the process. And we felt like if we just stand back from it and just be musicians, but actually within a week of beginning it, we realized that, we kind of knew what we wanted to do again. Like it, just 1 week of seeing it, and I was like, actually, I want to be in control again. And the producer we were working with, he started to annoy us a bit, like with various things. Like, we don't want to go too deeply into it, but we got a bit pissed off about some of the way things were going and how much time things were taking, and we like to work really hard and keep the energy up, and he was spending way too much time on the phone to his manager to earn other money from other projects that we were getting really irritated. We're like, do this now. And so we're like, fuck it, all we can do is cut our losses, stop spending money here today, and go and make the record ourselves. And so working with him just reminded us, it did allow us to fall in love with making music again. And it reminded us that there's total freedom to be had and to trust ourselves. And we needed that bad experience to have something to push against.
We work really well when we have something to kick against, to rebel against. That spite motivates me more than anything.
It's the punk in you.
Yeah, I think so. The little angsty little teenager. But when someone says, oh, you can't do something, or it makes me like, no, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it like fucking well. And it just motivated the record. I was like, we're going to make the best record ever now. Like, just to spite this motherfucker.
We were really unhappy.
Yeah.
Really unhappy with how we had been treated in that process.
But it meant we took it back in hand, became obsessed with it, and then ended up working with Jim Pinder, who mixed the record. And
he did an amazing job finishing it off.
So all of the difficulty has ended up with a record we love. So it was all worth it now, looking back.
Yeah.
One more proof that you can make good things from bad experience.
Yeah, you have to. Otherwise, it's just shit.
Yeah.
We are looking forward
some
to
stuff are staying shit.
some things.
We are looking forward to the day that something is easy.
It's easy.
Just one thing is easy. Just that
it would be boring.
I don't know, man.
We're tired.
You'll see when you do your arenas tour.
Yeah. Saying that, like when we go on tour with bigger bands and we see them, the other band members, if they don't have much to do and there's crew doing this and they're quite often they're a bit bored. Like the actual bands can be a bit bored, and like maybe a venue isn't the nicest place to sit around. So it is kind of nice still that we have to do so much ourselves, because like it's fun. Like, I love equipment. We like setting it up. We like doing sound check. We like all of those things as part of being a band. I'm still excited every time I put a great big guitar amp on. Every time I turn on and play my first chord, I'm like, I feel like 12 years old again with my little like Marshall practice amp. I feel the same. It reminds me why we're doing it.
That's still the connection. We just talk about this connection with everything.
Yeah.
So in this record too, there's something like don't know the word in English, cinematographic. So, like you talk about the movie, the choice of everything. We can feel like a movie, but a strange movie, because you talk about life, and today world is like a bad movie.
Yeah.
But your movie is better.
Okay.
So is that a choice you made, that to do things like a picture of everything, like movie things?
Always.
It's Kitty who drives that.
I'm very visual. So when we first start writing a song, I'll have like a visual that accompanies it always, like almost like a set, like a film. So I'll know exactly like where this song would be playing. So when we started making the album, like it comes to me very quickly.
It's as we're making a song, like often I'm the one that's kind of involved with like every part, and Kitty's like, you need to take small breaks and you come back with like fresh ideas and a fresh perspective. And I might have been working on something, editing things and trying ideas, and Kitty will come in and be like, how I said it just needs to feel more kind of glorious, like you have the end scene of a film with the sun coming in and there's maybe a vampire coming out of this nightclub and like these very visual things. And she's like,
very specific.
And she goes, it doesn't sound like that. It does. So, but that part does. So we need to expand on that. Yeah. And so it gives me these challenges of how do I make it sound like this? It is like scenes from a film that don't exist in Kitty's head. And then when we come to do videos, we get to then reinvent the songs again, and how are we going to present it? We love making videos, and again, we're kind of punk in the way we do it. We do everything ourselves. We like to spend no money on music videos.
We have no money, so it's always zero budget. So we come up with the concept, we book where we're going to do it, we direct ourselves and are in it,
and
we then edit it as well. So we do everything.
Okay. You're doing great.
Thank you.
Even the visualizer, for me, it's you say visualizer, but it's a music video.
Everyone keeps saying it.
Yeah,
it's a visualizer because there's like no budget. So when there's zero budget, it's a visualizer. When there's a little bit of money, it's a video.
Well, we did we did 2 videos in one day for that. So we're going to be releasing another song called "Get Them Out," and the video for that one. Should we talk about what it is?
Yeah.
So like our favorite band is 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah.
And my favorite video by 9 Inch Nails is March of the Pigs, because it's so low budget. It's inspired everything. Whenever like I'm like, maybe this looks too shit, I'm like, no, March of the Pigs looks amazing because it's just a handy cam, this super simple live performance. Yeah. And when we were looking to do a video for Get Them Out, we realized we don't have any budget. And the label were like, we're not going to, you only get to do like 2 videos for an album. Anything else you do is just a visualizer. That's kind of like where it comes from. And so we're going to do this visualizer. And we're like, well, why don't we just recreate the March of the Pigs video as a total tribute to our favorite video of all time? And so it's kind of like move for move, it's kind of like we recreate the scene. Like in that video, there's a bit where the makeup artist runs out and redoes his makeup, and then he shoves her out the way. And we did all of this stuff. Like we were kind of, and we knew we wanted to do that. And then we also had enough time in the morning to be like, well, we have enough time and a cameraman here. Let's do something for Good Boy, because we weren't going to do anything.
Yeah.
And we're like, cool, let's go. And so we just had an idea and just made it there and then. So I'm glad it turned out really good. And it looks like a proper video. But these were, you know, most people spend 2 or 3 days making a video. We made 2 in 1 day. Tiring day.
So we talk about Nine Inch Nails when you hear the records, but I try to say it right. My English is crap, sorry. So we were just like, oh, it's like Nine Inch Nails. Sometimes we can say it's bad thing, but you did it like beautiful things, you know.
Okay, thank you.
Like we can't say bad things about this. We just can say, wow. We know and we feel it.
We feel like it's a reference that has been digested and applied to your style too, with your vocals and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So it's usually it's something that kind of break the joy for me when it's too much reference. And it's not something that happened on your album. And the more I listen to it, the more I feel it's like digested, and so it's great. And when we were talking, you were saying there's less screams, but there's still this dirtiness in the treatment and everything, and the punk vibe. And for me, so that's why it makes sense of Nine Inch Nails, because for me it's the most elegant music with the punkiest vibe underneath. And I think it's also why it makes us think about Nine Inch Nails when we listen to this. But it's a good reference.
It's like, for us, like the imperfections are the best parts, because that's what humans are. We make mistakes, and that nothing sounds more human than imperfection. So we don't overly treat the vocals at all. It's left pretty raw. And I think as well, like, and it's the same with Nine Inch Nails, the music, you know, the industrial music, like machine-like music, which is very not human, paired with that emotional intensity of the vocal and leaving imperfections and leaving strange sounds and stuff in, makes it sound more human, like more real, less machine-like.
Yeah, totally. That's it. I mean, because Nine Inch Nails is a project that's been going for a long time, and the music is really varied. There is no definitive Nine Inch Nails sound, but the one consistent part of the formula is his vocal is very emotional, very clear, and left really unaffected a lot of time. Or if there is an effect, it's an extreme abrasive sound, but most of the time you really feel like you're kind of in the room with him. And that's, I think, as soon as you do that treatment, which in this day and age is really unusual, you know.
And we're often criticized for it, you know, as well. We've had reviews and stuff that have been like, this sounds bad, like this sounds too raw.
Yeah, we've been told our music sounds
perfect.
Like a demo, like before.
Yeah,
like,
but for us, that's what we love, is those imperfections, because it lets you know that you're listening to a human being, not a robot.
Yeah. It's, you know, every choice we make seems to kind of, everything we love about music is sort of immediately like commercial suicide, because we like imperfections and we like things to sound raw, and there is a push for everything to sound a certain way, and you're really aware of it, that any time you make a choice that isn't the conforming way, you have to justify it, because there's always 5 people who are more interested in the business side who are like, can't you just do it like everyone else? It would just be so much easier. You know, I saw with like on we obviously see comments come up, and like with Good Boy, I was really aware this song has a really long intro, but to me, I love the long intro, because then the payoff is fucking huge when it gets there. And like, if everything's just about the chorus, then why even bother with any other music other than the chorus? For me, like the build and everything. And I saw someone had a comment of like, it takes 2 minutes to kick in.
No, that was a radio person who was like, we're not going to play it. It takes too long to.
Yeah, what's the point? Like, it takes too long to kick in. It's like, well, what's the point in anything then? You know, like, Enter Sandman takes 1.5 minutes to get to the main riff, but that fucking build up, like the whole time you know what's coming, that's why it's the biggest metal song of all time. Like Stairway to Heaven takes forever to get to the great part, but you have to have that first part to get to the, you know, and I'm not saying that we've written Stairway to Heaven, but I'm just saying that that kind of patience and everything, like, and this is my very long answer to say, but one of the reasons we love playing in France is that we have felt that the French audience have more patience and are more sophisticated in their enjoyment of the music and are willing to engage and trust that to give things time and to digest it and then go, that was cool, I like that, I like the build, I like giving time. It feels in the UK that you have to justify that all the time, and it's a little harder sometimes to have that kind of more considered approach to the audience, and we've had to fight hard to find our audience and exist when everything is telling you, no, just start with the chorus.
I think it's because in France we're used to cook and it takes a shitload of time to make something you're gonna eat in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So sadly, we have to ending the interview. We have a lot of things to say, but maybe next time.
Yeah.
We invite you to the show. We talk about like 3 hours, so it's really long.
Be
careful.
That would be
Don't
great.
say yes right now.
But we have food. We have food during the show.
Okay,
So.
that's good.
We're there then. Yeah.
And just to say,
can't wait to see you live.
on
this album.
So,
Yeah.
Cheers, guys. Thank you so much.
you.
Yeah,
Thank
really
you for
appreciate
everything.
it.
Thank you for making art and not making just commercial things. So thank you so much.
No, thank you. Thank
Cheers,
you for the
guys.
really good questions. Thank you.
And congrats for the album.
Thank you.
you.